1951, my parents were going to go deer hunting, as they always did, the first Saturday of October. And they decided that year to leave me with a dear friend of Dad's and client named Alta Hickson, who owned a very small nursing home in the heights of Hood River. It was just a sprawling house, or it wasn't anything built to serve nursing home patients, but she made it do. And there was a man staying there who invited me to go up into his apartment, which was upstairs, to listen to the ball game. And the Giants had come from far behind and had caught up with the Dodgers, and this game was to decide the championship of the National League that year. And Willie Mays was either a rookie or maybe he'd played there one season before that, I believe. So we were up there listening to the game in his room, and Bobby Thompson hit this famous home run. And I heard it. That nursing home was a fantastic experience for me. There was an old man there that would get heart, what we call now probably arrhythmias, and he would send urgent message to Alta to come down the hall and minister to him. Well, she'd take a bottle of brandy down and give him a little sip of brandy and calm him down. Well, when she came back into the main part of the house, there was an old gent staying there whose name was Winans, Eve Winans, who later wrote a book called, I was going to say a name, I'm not sure that's the right one, and he was a veteran of the Spanish-American War. He lived to be over 100, and I think he was almost 100 then. So when she'd come back in, having ministered with a little bit of brandy to this old fellow down the hall, he would then say, oh, his heart was acting up, and she'd have to give him a little bit too. And when he got a little bit of brandy, then he got a little bit randy, and he would get up and start prancing around the room. He insisted on sleeping on a cot in the main living room of the house. He wouldn't stay in one of the rooms. Well, under the cot, he kept a sword, and he'd get that out, and he'd start swinging around his head, up over his head, and go woo woo, and everybody was a little bit frightened about where that sword might come home, but he never hit anybody with it and never threatened anybody with it. But it was a little bit unusual for me to see a 100-year-old man swinging a sword around over his head. We also ate at a communal table. I got to find out then what rancid butter was. But I overall just enjoyed being with those old people and listening to their stories and feeling their vibes, which were very warm and interesting. They were interesting people, and I treasured that experience. And how did I know that I would later become a social worker, and I would be later dealing with, among others, my sister in a nursing home? But as the twig is bent, so grows the branch.